Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be the last part of the great UC Gundam rewatch talking about Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. So episodes 46 through to 50. And wow, what can I say about these episodes? I think these final episodes are like the reason why myself and probably many other people love Zeta Gundam so much. As a series, I think these last bunch of episodes really build on what we've seen before, to be quite honest. It's just, there's so much going on in these episodes, like how the different factions begin scheming with and against each other, and how the tables turn so many different ways. It's just really interesting how these last 4 episodes go, to be honest. I mean, one thing we have to talk about with all these episodes is the number of deaths we get here. It's not unusual with Tomino series. People probably know that Tomino likes to kill so many people off of all of his series he does, well, most of them anyway, and it's no difference here. I think Zeta Gundam probably has one of the bigger death counts towards the end of one of his series, I'd say, from what I've heard anyway. I think there's only several others which beat it. But so many characters die. I mean, Apolly dies. I'm trying to do this in order. Jamitov Hyman gets killed, doesn't he, by Scirocco. And Scirocco basically tries to starts offing the Titans hierarchy, doesn't he? Like, he gets rid of Jamitov. And then later on he goes after Bask as well, doesn't he? And he ends up getting killed by Rekoa. So he goes, Zarmia goes. You have like a raft of characters going in the final 2 episodes. Just so many of them. It's unbelievable, really. But yeah, and as people probably saw by watching this, the ending is really dark and quite depressing. I mean, it's bad enough seeing a lot of those characters die, which I think had more to give. I'll get into that a little bit later on. But what happens to Camille as well? He gets a fake worse than death. Him being turned into pretty much a vegetable. Which is horrible, really. It's yeah, I don't think that's... I'm trying to think, imagine how people felt when watching Zeta Gundam the first time, people in Japan when it came out. It was such a dark ending. I mean, yeah, it must have been really unusual to have an ending like that. Yeah, it's just really strange. I think it's one of the things that makes it great, though. It doesn't end up in a happy ending. I mean, the original Mobile Suit Gundam, it had kind of a happy ending, didn't it, with them all escaping the Baraku and everyone was safe and well. And I don't think too many people of the White Base crew died over the course of that series. Well, in this one, our protagonists aren't so lucky this time, which is unfortunate for them, really. But yeah, there was just so much going on. I think some of you probably know that in the compilation movies they did of Zeta Gundam, which they did in about the year, I don't know, they did it in the 2000s. They changed the ending so that the Camille didn't end up the way he was. I prefer the original ending, though. I think it has such a large impact, what happens to him. Yeah, so speaking about some of the other characters and what happens to them, I think it's the best way to do these videos, like I've said before. We have the main players, at the end of all this, at the end of the entire series, we have the AU, which has Camille, their best pilot, being made massive brain problems after after Scirocco tried to take his soul away from him when he died. They're basically left to bare bones at the end of this. Pretty much all the pilots are dead or gone, such as Char. He just went off somewhere. He managed to escape the Yakushiku, as you see right in the end, with the cockpit being open. So he managed to get out of there. But they're basically left as Fayuriri being their best pilot, which is a scary thought. I mentioned in some of my previous episodes on this Zeta Gundam part of the rewatch that Fayuriri was a terrible pilot. I kind of take that back somewhat. I think that in the latter part of the series she did a much better job of being a pilot when she came back to being a pilot of the Mephis again. And I saw some people say that she did a good job because I think she realised she wasn't the best pilot and she only kind of did what she could do. I think that's what saved her skin in the end and stopped her from being killed, and also led to her being contributing a lot in the final number of episodes. When you compare it to someone like Katsu, who had like a lot of promise, and he ended up being probably a bit too cocky and being a bit too cocksure, and he ended up getting killed. I think the problem with Katz and the reason why he met his fate was because he thought he was going to be like the next Amuro or the next Camille. He was the same age as those two. I think he kind of thought it was his right to be like some excellent, superb pilot, but I don't think he realised his limitations in the same way Farr did, who managed to survive and Katz didn't, and was always making the wrong decision. In the final number of episodes, you see him make so many mistakes again. His mistakes basically end up to Sarah getting killed, don't they? Like in the last, in the first to last episode, I think. And yeah, he kind of blames Rocco for that, even though it was kind of his fault. So yeah, I think it's understandable why a lot of people don't like that character and the personality he has, which I think is understandable. So the AEG have pretty much came out of this fight very badly. I was thinking that I think their battle strategy was kind of wrong, like in the last episodes or so. I know they had the control of the colony laser and didn't want to let that fall into the hands of the Titans or Zeon. But I actually think it would have been better if the AEG didn't have control of the colony laser. And I'll explain why. I think it worked for them having control of the colony laser because they had enough time to fire it to move Axis out of the way of the moon from striking Granada. Excuse me. But yeah, I think they should have given up the colony laser at that point. And you may be thinking, why do I think this? I think it's we know, don't we, that the AEG, they didn't particularly have the largest force of the three factions. I'd say they probably had one of the smallest, arguably. It's never really made too clear on who has the bigger amount of forces. I'd say the Titans still have a bigger force than they do, even though a lot of the Federation troops switched over to the AEG. But I'd say that, or so we think anyway. And Zeon, I think, still had quite a large force. I think that I don't know what the AEG were thinking of by trying to hold on to the colony laser against the Titans and Zeon combined. So that wasn't going to end well for them. If I were them, I would have left the colony laser alone to let Zeon and the Titans fight over it, and then once one of them gets hold of it, join the other force in trying to combat them. Just let someone else defend the colony laser so you can join up with the other faction and attack them. I think which would have been the better approach for the AEG. I think if they'd played it that way, then perhaps they would have lasted a bit longer and some more of their characters would have survived. As it was, they tried to hold on to the colony laser and most of the AEG troops have been decimated by this point. At the very least, at least the Titans are gone, but the Zeon is still out there, unfortunately. So we'll see more of that when we go into the Double Zeta Gundam. Gundam Double Zeta, actually, I think is the proper name for it, but oh well, you can call it what you want. So yeah, there's so much stuff to do with these last number of episodes. I think like I said, I think that the intrigue between the three factions is really interesting, and how I think it shows these last episodes how much of a great character Haman Khan is, and how she kind of manipulates the situations, getting the to get the best possible situation for herself and Zeon. I think she's the ultimate winner of like the conflict, because I think she comes out with the least amount of damage. Like the Titans are destroyed, the AU go pretty much on their last legs, but Zeon is in a lot better state than what they are at the end of all this, and I think that's a lot of it is down to Haman Khan's cunning there at the end of the conflict. And it was really interesting watching her character and how she manipulated everything. But yeah, I mean, what do we say about Shah Aznavour now? Also, I mean, I think it was really cool how like he had the battle with Haman and Shiroko with the Yo inside the colony Neza. I think that's one of like the best battles in the whole of the series, and it should be, considering what is one of the final ones. That is really cool, and how you know, all three of them basically have kind of similar ideas. They all kind of want new types to be prominent. Shiroko basically wants to get rid of the weak so Superior can rule, and that also includes new types, but it's probably not in the best way of doing it. It's as you can tell with Shiroko throughout the series, he's quite a maniacal person. We have Haman, who's basically trying to do what the Zabis did before, which is trying to take trying to lessen the influence of the ruling elite on Earth and all that kind of stuff, whether by, and not using like legitimate means, using like as much force as they can to do so. And you know, Shah ultimately wants to complete the ideologies that his father had, about new types, about emigrating everyone on Earth to space, everyone becoming new types and having complete understanding. And I'm sorry if I didn't cover those three. I don't think I did a good job in covering those three ideals actually there. I'm sorry, I make all these videos like off the top of my head. I don't do well for script and stuff, but yeah, I just liked and enjoyed like the different ideologies that the characters had, even though they are kind of similar. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with Shah after this. Well, I already know, but for those who haven't seen it, it'll be interesting for you to see what happens with him, because there's a lot of stuff which goes on now. Like, we did notice that he did survive that somehow. Yeah, I don't know how he survived that explosion, but you know, he's such a skilled pilot, Shah. Yeah, I'm not going to speak too much in this video, because, because I'm going to do another video right after this, which is going to be talking about my thoughts in general about the whole of Zeta Gundam, and there's some stuff relevant to these episodes I want to talk about in that, so this is why this is going to be a little bit... I may not discuss everything in this. I think I'll get to a lot of that in the next video. So yeah, actually I think I'll leave it here, and you can hear all the rest of my thoughts in the next video, which I'm going to do about Zeta Gundam in general. So I'll see you in a moment for that.